All right. Good evening. I want to welcome everyone to the South Memphis Financial Access Summit hosted by Micah Memphis, the Rotary Club of Memphis, Lemoyne-Owen College Community Development Corporation, SCORE Community Development Corporation, South Memphis, and Soulsville, USA Neighborhood Development District. My name is Michael Peeler, and I'm a member of Idlewild Presbyterian Church, which is one of 70 plus faith-based and community organizations that comprise Micah and are dedicated to bringing light to issues of social justice in Memphis and working to affect change for everyone's benefit. I especially want to thank everyone for their flexibility in pivoting from what was to be both a live and virtual event to an entirely virtual event due to continued challenges from COVID-19. Our first thought was for the health and safety of everyone in our community, which necessitated that change. I think everyone will be impressed with the all-star cast of participants, moderators, and panelists with which we'll have this discussion over the next half an hour and a half. Before we begin, I'd like to open us with a word of prayer, if you'll bow your heads with me. Lord, we are so thankful for this community, specifically South Memphis and downtown, and for the dedicated men and women on this call that are committed to a brighter, more equitable future. We ask that your blessing be on this conversation and that those in need of information and access to resources are connected to those with the expertise to help. We are thankful for our moderators who lead organizations focused on economic development and for the panelists who can provide counsel and guidance in those efforts. We ask that your hand be on this conversation, that it would provide a footing for conversations for the betterment of the community. Additionally, we ask that your hand be on the health and safety of our city, county, state, and country as we continue to struggle with transitioning through COVID-19. We are here to be the hands and feet of you. In your name we pray, amen. I'd like now to introduce Otis Sanford. He's president of the Rotary Club of Memphis, which is co-hosting this event, to share a few words. Otis.
Thank you very much, Michael. And good evening to each and every one of you on this webinar. I am Otis Sanford, and I am the new president of the Memphis Rotary Club. And we are proud to be a sponsor of this very worthwhile and necessary Financial Access Summit for South Memphis. And I applaud Micah and all of the other sponsors who are taking the time to do everything that you all do to uplift the South Memphis community. I'm really honored to be president of Rotary this year, and we have adopted a mission for this year and beyond to inform, to inspire, to serve, and to lead. And this financial summit fulfills a lot of those objectives. It is inspirational. It is certainly a public service. And again, I applaud each and every one of you for your efforts here today. I invite some of you or many of you to become a part of Memphis Rotary. We're doing some great things in this community, and we are fulfilling that mission to inform, inspire, to serve, and lead. So you are welcome to join us as members, and I will likely be calling on some of you to even be speakers from time to time. So again, I appreciate you. And on a personal note, my family has a strong history in South Memphis. I grew up on a farm in Mississippi, but I had 3 uncles who lived in South Memphis. And I used to love to come to Memphis and visit my family and just take in what I thought was an astounding place, which was South Memphis here. And so we all want what's best for our community. And again, I applaud you all. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Michael, for inviting me. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful, robust, and beneficial discussion. Thank you.
Just curious,
Thanks.
what part of Mississippi?
Thanks, Otis.
And in Mississippi, I grew up in Panola County.
I'm very familiar.
Thank you, Otis. As I mentioned above, this meeting is being co-hosted by MICA, which is the Memphis Interfaith Coalition for Action and Hope. I'd like to introduce Samantha Bradshaw, who is co-chair of MICA's Economic Equity Platform, to share a few words about MICA and to walk the audience through a short, anonymous financial access survey that we'll use to gauge the relationship between those in the audience and the financial resources they use. For those that complete the survey, the Rotary Club of Memphis has donated 3 $50 gift cards that we'll have a drawing for at the end of the program. Samantha? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you everyone for joining us for our 3rd financial summit. My name again is Samantha Bradshaw, and I am the co-chair of MICA's Economic Equity Task Force. As Michael has provided to you an overview of what our organization is, our organization in short stands for Action and Hope. We are a group of 70+ organizations from various backgrounds and neighborhoods, and we represent Memphis, approximately 40,000 people or so, and we stand exactly for what our name says at the end, Action and Hope. With action, we hope to build a more equitable Memphis for all of its citizens. We have 3 pillars in which we are seeking equity in, and that is economics, education, and in our justice systems. Each working on issues to bring justice within Memphis and Shelby County. And today, this summit is concentrated on economic equity, ensuring the equitable distribution of financial resources. A little bit of a background of how we got here is in 2018, due to the historical redlining practices, First Horizon Bank was slapped on the wrist and committed in a federal Community Reinvestment Act to the redistributing of billions in poor neighborhoods over the next 5 years. 1.2 billion of those dollars were to be distributed right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Following this in a public meeting, we entered into a partnership with them to ensure the distribution of these funds to the areas that they were intended to, low and moderate income communities. We identified 6 areas: Orange Mound, Hickory Hill, Frazier, South Memphis, Raleigh, and downtown. Our initial plans were to hold town halls in which we would invite the public in. We were able only to do this in 1 neighborhood, and that was in Orange Mound, where we gathered the data and identified the areas that of the citizens' needs. But since then, the world has definitely changed due to COVID-19. And in the midst of all the chaos, we still must forge ahead. And here we are with a little bit of a spin-off, financial summits virtually. It is our hope that we will be able to host, it was our hope that we will be able to host a hybrid model for South Memphis, but with the rising cases of the Delta variant, here we are today. So what does this look like going forward? It's simple. It's educating, empowering low and moderate income residents in these 6 neighborhoods, specifically today in South Memphis. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. As Michael stated, before we begin our panel discussions, I would like for you to help us in our data tracking and complete a financial survey. You should have received this in your email, and one of the hosts will be dropping this information into the chat if you have not already received it, and we can begin going over the survey. Just bear with me for a minute. I'm having issues. I got like 3 different monitors up. So are we ready to complete the survey? Okay. Question number 1, do you currently have a bank account, either a checking, savings, loan for either your home or your business? Please select 1, yes or no. Number 2, the primary reason I would like to borrow money or receive a grant, and please select each situation that pertains to you. Whether you would like to receive a loan or a grant to buy a home, to fix up your current home, to grow your business, to maintain your business, to start a business, to pay down your debt, medical needs, personal or an emergency, your student loan. Please select if you would not like to borrow a loan, and if there is not a option for you, please provide us with that option so we'll know in the future if we need to add more. Number 3, the second reason I would like to borrow money or receive a grant is to, and these are the same options, please select the one that pertains to you. And if yours is not there, please provide us with that information. Number 4, what is the current amount of loan that you need? Do you need $500, $5,000, or $50,000? Please provide us with that information. And if you would not like to receive a loan, you will pick back up with us when we get to number 7. Number 5, do you know your current credit score? We're not asking you for your credit score. We just want to know if you know it. Number 6, how would you rate your current credit score? We're not asking you for the exact number, just how would you rate your credit? Number 7, and this is where those of you that stated that you did not want to apply for a loan, you'll pick back up with us here. Do you think the bank will provide you the amount you need? Either yes, definitely, probably, might not, definitely not. Please provide an answer for us. The following reasons keep me from having a bank account or applying for a loan. The interest rate is too low. I have too much current debt. My credit score is too low. The high monthly fees, the application is too difficult or scary. Starting fees are too high. The bank is intimidating. I do not trust banks. Payments are too high. My income is too low. I recently lost my job. I do not think I qualify, and so on and so on. And if you do not see an option that pertains to you, please select other and provide us with that answer. Number 9, when was the last time you used an alternative lender? And this is like a payday loan, title lenders, pawn shops, or other predatory loans. Please let us know if it was within the last month, within the last year, and so on and so on. If you've never used these, please skip to number 11. Number 10, why did you use an alternative lender? Was it easy to get money from them because it was in close proximity to you? There was no other way for you to get money. You needed the money fast. Whatever pertains to your situation, please provide an answer there. Number 11, how old are you? Not how you feel today or how you look right now. Please provide us with your age. Number 12, how do you identify? Female, male, binary, or you prefer not to answer? Which race describes you? Please provide us with your race. If you're Native American, Asian, Black, Hispanic, please provide us with that information. Number 14, what is the highest level of school you completed or the highest degree that you've received? You don't have a high school degree, you have a high school degree, and so on and so on. And if you prefer not to answer, there's an option there for that. What is your approximate average household income? And this is the income for your house, the income that you would use on a bank application to receive a loan. Number 16, what is your zip code? This is very important because we need to know what areas need what the specific needs are for your area. Some areas don't need what other areas need. And hopefully everyone here is in the South Memphis area code. And I think that is 3812. I'm not gonna say. I'm originally from 38107, so I'm your neighbor.
38126.
38126, okay. And number 17, please provide us with your work zip code. I want to thank you for helping us this evening with gathering this information. This information is pertinent to the work that we're doing, and we want to ensure that we are providing each neighborhood with what they need for their specific needs in their neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. As you'll soon see, our panel is loaded with financial experts from several financial institutions and community organizations. Keeping the panel at a manageable number, there are several financial institutions without representation on the panel that were interested in participating. We will provide a resource sheet that lists all of the institutions and contact information for representatives to reach out to in connection with their products and services. Additionally, promotional materials for each institution will be housed on the MICA website so that community stakeholders can access information for products and services for which they have interest. You'll meet our panelists in a few minutes, but the banks without a panel member, I'll mention now, that were interested in participating. Bancorp South, Toy Simpson's branch manager at the South Pauline Financial Center, and Derek Martin is a commercial loan officer who works out east but covers the greater Memphis area. Renaissance Bank, Evan Collins is VP of Community Lending and is a relationship manager who works at Renaissance Midtown Financial Center on Union. Trustmark National Bank, Mary Anderson is a mortgage loan officer and community lending specialist who works in our Whitehaven Financial Center on Elvis Presley Boulevard. Now, on to the program. Our moderators are a couple of all-stars that have each been engaged in the South Memphis community for an excess of 20 years. Jeffrey Higgs is the president and CEO of the South Memphis Renewal Community Development Corporation and Lemoyne-Owen College Community Development Corporation. He received his BBA in Accounting and Economics from Lemoyne-Owen in 1984 and has over 20 years experience in urban community housing, economic development, and micro lending. His resume lists accolades and experience for multiple pages related to projects and accomplishments. It suffices to say are extensive. Welcome, Jeffrey. Rebecca Hutchinson is the founder and executive director of SCORE CDC, serving the South City community. Rebecca received her undergraduate degree from Oberlin College and her master's degree in public administration, along with her certification as a nonprofit professional from the University of Memphis. Her work focuses on civic engagement, which translates into connecting community residents and stakeholders to critical resources while assisting them in building their individual and community capacity through resident-driven neighborhood initiatives. Jeffrey and Rebecca, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Michael, for that. What I'm going to do at this moment is introduce our panelists. And if you would, to kind of expedite things, as I call your name or introduce you, would you please give us maybe one 1.5 minute to 2 minute spiel about your organization. And our first panelist here is Mr. Kelvin Martin with First Horizon. Kelvin Martin started in the mortgage industry in 1992 with Leader Federal Mortgage, and they were bought out by Union Planners, and he worked there until 1997. He transitioned to, at that point, to Countrywide Financial Corporation in late 1997 and worked as a regional mortgage account executive managing conforming and government mortgage lending products of Northeast Arkansas, North Mississippi, and West Tennessee. In 2013, he took a break from mortgage lending and started working in the nonprofit world with community development corporations, and with a grant, he helped to house homeless people in the greater Memphis area. And then he went back to his first love and first passion of mortgage lending, and what he had done for the past 20 years. And now he is with, as I said, with First Horizon. Welcome, Kelvin. Give us a couple of minutes of what you do.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate that introduction, Rebecca. Thank you. I am a CRA mortgage bank loan officer here at First Horizon Bank. As she mentioned, I've been in mortgage banking for over 25 years. What my emphasis here at First Horizon Bank is to assist interested home buyers to obtain home ownership. We partner with Operation Hope as far as credit to help improve credit. We offer specific grant programs. We have grants right now between $10,000 to $12,000 to assist borrowers in positioning them to be able to purchase a home. We provide financial education. In addition to that, what we ultimately do is position the applicant to be able to, purchase their home. Our focus with this particular product is low to moderate census tracts. So we're targeting low to moderate census tracts and low to moderate income bracket. It's going to go generally at around $50,520 or below as far as annual income for the applicant. And then, of course, when it pertains to census tracts, the census tract categories are low and moderate program. Program is 100% financing with a 620 credit score, allows for a 45% debt ratio. So we've designed these programs to be able to better assist first-time homeowners to be able to obtain their home. Multiple different products that we have and enhancements that we've adjusted. As I mentioned, the grant products, that grant program is able to pay your down payment and your closing costs. I recently attended a closing last week where the client received her earnest money back at the table. We actually had to cut her a check because the $10,000 grant covered her down payment and it covered her closing cost. So ultimately, for the greater Memphis, North Mississippi area, as well as East Arkansas, we targeted these particular areas to try to enhance home ownership with these grant programs and these different mortgage products. We have a variety of products that we can qualify you for. If we can't qualify you today, then we have processes in place to position you to qualify in about 60 to 90 days.
Thank you. Thank you. Next on our panel is Delphine Price here. I don't see her here and I don't want to miss her if she is. Okay, well, Angelique Mister is our next panelist. Angelique is a graduate of Mississippi Valley State University. She has participated in several leadership programs, the Mississippi Congressman Benny Thompson's leadership program, Dr. David Satcher's Health and Leadership Institute, among those leadership programs. She has served on the city council for the city of Leland, Mississippi. Currently, she is a member of the Children's Defense Fund, Southern Rural Black Women's Initiative, The organization helps to fight for the equal rights of women and children. And for more than 4 years, she has worked diligently to support the youth of her community by serving as a board member of the Kiwanis and a member of the Rotary Indianola, Mississippi chapter. She began her financial coaching career in 2009 while working with the South Delta Regional Housing Authority as Director of Family Self-Sufficiency Programs, and she later became chair of the Mississippi MCFAC. So on that note, I'm sorry, one important thing, she is with Operation Hope. So Angelique Mister, would you please?
Yes, thank you, Rebecca, for that introduction. I am, as you said, Angelique Mister. I am one of the financial coaches with Operation Hope. I am been a part of Operation Hope for about 6 years, and Operation Hope is an organization that got it started in 1992 after the Rodney King verdict in Los Angeles, California. During that time, there were a lot of small businesses that were destroyed due to the looting and rioting in Los Angeles. Well, our CEO, John Hope Bryant, took on the initiative to he asked those banks to come into those communities by way of the CRA to assist those communities by providing funding. But what he learned was that a lot of those small business owners did not have the credit worthiness to do so. With that being said, we started our credit journey. Since then, from that day to where we are today, we provide credit counseling, money management services. We provide small business, home ownership counseling, and we also provide all of our services for free. We're able to do so because we partner with people just like First Horizon Bank and other banking institutions. We partner with other diverse entities within our communities to provide our services. And we have we also have disaster coaches. And as a result of COVID, we have a national disaster initiative because we partner with a lot of companies by way of providing financial assistance to those persons who were directly impacted by COVID.
Thank you. Thank you. And next we will have Shelby County Trustee Regina Morrison Newman. Our Shelby County trustee was elected in August 2018, and she is the first woman elected to hold that position. Did y'all hear that? The first woman elected to hold that position. She previously served as a trustee in 2009 and 2010 after having been unanimously appointed by the Shelby County Commission to fill the position after it became vacant. Oh, uh-oh. I got a lot of paper here. Our Shelby County trustee graduated from Rose College here in Memphis, and she later earned her Juris Doctorate degree in 1994. However, prior to attending law school, she served with the city of Memphis as assistant treasurer. Then she served as the state of Tennessee assistant to the Commission of Revenue and Personnel Director for the Department of Youth Development. Now, following law school, she was engaged in the private sector of law until her first stint as trustee. While she was trustee, the office set new records for tax collection and won a national award for financial management. From 2010 through 2015, she served as the deputy city attorney for the city of Memphis with duties including liaison to the trustee's office. From 2016 to 2018, she practiced law with her law firm before becoming the trustee. Trustee Newman, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you do and what the purpose of this office is?
Well, the trustees, I never go, what the heck is a trustee? The trustee's office for Shelby County, number one, we collect property taxes. Most people familiar with that, you get a bill in the mail. We also collect the delinquent taxes for all 7 municipalities in Shelby County. And number two, the trustee is the banker for Shelby County government. So we handle all the bank accounts, we invest all the money. All of the county's investments are handled by the trustee by state law. And that is one area that we really concentrate on and try to do well in. But the trustee is very interested, this trustee is very interested in getting everybody in Shelby County on firm financial footing. And as a proud member of MICA through 2 different groups I'm in, I think I've paid dues twice. I I absolutely supported the three goals of, economic equity and education and criminal justice. So we are a member at the trustee's office and a sponsor of Bank on Memphis to try to help people get banked and save them money. And we opened 2 years ago a free government service. It is grant funded, called the Greater Memphis Financial Empowerment Center right here. And we've had great success with that over the last 2 years. It is free to anybody in Shelby County. We also, of course, through the trustee's office, have tax benefit programs for seniors and the disabled and veterans. We also recently got a grant and did a strategic plan for consumer financial protection for Shelby County, including fighting predatory lending, et cetera. So we're working on that with some of our legislators and county commissioners and city council people. We do Project Home to try to keep people in their houses. And we do an On My Own simulation for teenagers and young adults for our staff to come out and some of our banking partners to come out and teach kids what it's like to be on your own financially. So those are the programs that we sponsor, and I'm very happy to be here, very happy to participate in anything that's going to help the community, and particularly South Memphis. I know we've been working in Orange Mound a lot, but now we're going to work on South Memphis. And so happy to be here. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you. And thank you for coming to South Memphis. We appreciate that.
Even on the computer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No problem.
That's right.
And our next panelist with Hope Federal Credit Union is Cassandra Williams, who is Senior Vice President of Community and Economic Development for Hope Enterprise Corporation / Hope Federal Credit Union. She joined Hope in 1999 as a commercial lender, providing access to capital to small businesses in the Mississippi Delta. She has worked in several capacities at Hope, including overseeing all retail and operational activities for Hope's northern region, which serves over 10,000 members. Currently, she works for Hope's community and economic development efforts, including affordable housing, healthy food financing, charter schools, new market tax credits, and community facilities. Cassandra, welcome. Thank you. And please tell us a little bit more about what you do with Hope Federal Credit Union.
Thank you, Rebecca. And I think you described my work. That's what I do. Provide access to financial services. Hope is a community development financial institution. We're a credit union and also a policy center. We have done this work for the last 26 years in the Deep South, and excited to be doing the work here in Memphis. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And our next panelist is Angela Connor. Angela, who is the Senior Vice President of Community Development at SunTrust, which is now Truist Bank for the state of Tennessee and South Alabama regions. She is a graduate of the University of Central Florida, where she received a BA in Public Administration with a concentration in Human Resources. She has over 20 years of experience in the financial industry, serving in roles including Human Resource Generalist and the current position of Community Development Manager. She is responsible for lending, community reinvestment, and development programs across the state that include specific programs and initiatives focused on lending, affordable housing, small business, and community development outreach. Welcome. One more thing, I have to add this. She is also a member of the Knoxville Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Thank you.
Welcome, Sora.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. So excited to be here, and so excited that Michael got me on at the last minute. So I'm so just great for the opportunity for us to participate. And everybody says, when we say Truist, please note SunTrust now Truist, and we became Truist on December 2019. And so we're very excited to be here. When you think of Truist, we focus on our communities, building better lives and inspiring better lives with our clients and our communities, and just really supportive of our efforts when we focus on community development. And when we think about Truist, just focus again on the opportunity that we have to work with all of you that are participating today, to be able to understand what your needs are and to build that client, or just to build that community relationship with all of our not-for-profit partners, individuals, and all our communities in South Memphis as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And I think last is Dr. Austin Imagwe, who is a professor of business in the business school at the Lemoyne-Owen College here in Memphis, in the heart of South Memphis, and the 38126 zip code. Dr. Imagwe was instrumental in bringing students here to this summit tonight. And Dr. Imagwe, if you would, please tell us a little bit more about what you're doing at Lemoyne-Owen College and how we're engaging the students in financial literacy.
Thank you, Ms. Hutcherson. I don't want to call you Rebecca.
That's fine. Call me Rebecca. You can call me Becky if you want to. So.
I am Austin Imagwe, and I'm a professor at Lemoyne-Owen College for 32 years. I didn't say that my age is 32. I said I've been working at Lemoyne-Owen College as a professor for 32 years. I am what the AICPA classified to be a professor practitioner, because I have my own CPA business, and I work with the students, and they enjoy when a practitioner brings real life situation to the classroom. I'm sorry, but I'm going to plug my book. Sustainable Entrepreneurship. I'm sorry, this shameless blog will be released in 12 days. I'm so excited. I started this book in 2013. And
right.
updated it for the COVID. I've got a lot of reviews. Today, a friend of mine who is a medical doctor at VA launched my book with $500. I was supposed to just pay $28, but he said I'm going to pay more than that. So I'm really excited. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Imagwe. And no shame in plugging your book. That's quite all right. That's quite all right. I want to make sure that I have all of our panelists. I can't see all of them. It's Trudy Morrison with Operation Hope here. No, okay. Well, then if that is the case, we have all of our panelists. They have all been introduced and properly identified themselves and shared with us a little bit about what they do and what the organization does that they are working with. So at this point, we will begin the discussion. And Jeffrey, if you would, start us off with that question.
Okay, I will. Thanks, Rebecca, and thanks to all the panelists. All these bankers in the room, I'm compelled to ask for a small business loan. I can't help it. But what I just want to do a little brief introduction. I think because of the financial precarious circumstances that many lower income households and people of color are now positioned to contribute or to reap the benefits of the economic growth that we've seen post-pandemic and in a lot of the activity from the pandemic. For us tonight to be addressing wealth inequity, the inability of these lower income families and families of color to build financial security is a long-range matter of social justice, morality, and it's an economic imperative. I've got more, but I really want to jump into this discussion tonight. And I guess the first question I'm gonna pin over to the folks at Operation Hope. How do I, as a resident of Soulsville and South Memphis, how do I be here tonight talking about financial security and savings, and I only make $13, $14 an hour? Can you explain that to me a little bit? And I'm trying to pay my utility bill. Angela, would you mind talking about that? I know Hope does a lot around this. Operation Hope does. We can't hear.
Did you mean Angelique?
Yeah, Angelique Mister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you repeat the question again?
Well, the question is just around, I'm a working stiff. I make $13 to $15 an hour. You know, You know, and I'm struggling to pay my bills. How do I build financial security?
Well, first thing I like to think about is what do we define as financial security? And one of the things I like to say about financial security is that financial security is just a peace of mind, not having worries about your bills, maybe someone who's debt free. But when you think about financial security, whether you make $13 or not, the bottom line is based upon what you make. If you're not making enough, when you do an assessment of your finances, once you make that assessment, when you make that assessment, you have to be honest about what you're doing as far as your debts. Once you make that assessment of your debts, it's important that you determine whether you have enough to meet your needs, because it goes back to needs and wants. If you have just enough to meet your needs, look at the fact that whether you are overspending, if you're spending within your budget, those things that you need, and there's no overage in terms of overspending, then you decide if I need more money. If you need more money, then it would be to your advantage to bring more income. And that means maybe getting a second job if you're able to do so, but you have to earn some more income. And of course, living below your means, because a lot of times people are living above their means and then they say they can't save, and that's not always the case. Oftentimes when we do budgets, we look at it, there are things that you want that you don't necessarily need. Right. That's affecting or preventing you from building a financial secure future. And one thing too, with what you do, be consistent. Once you determine whatever path you need to take in terms of building that financial security, be consistent, because a lot of times people start out doing such things, but they don't stick to what they have started out to do. So you got to be consistent enough to get to the goals. And of course, lastly, setting some financial goals. You have to determine what are those goals and what is it that you're trying to achieve. And in an effort to do so, then as you do that, then you set those goals and stick to those financial goals that you may have for yourself. But ultimately, it's just looking at your finances and then determining whether you need more finances in order to achieve those goals.
So basically what you're saying is, even if you make $15 an hour, you need to find some kind of way to save a little something.
Yes, I always say, we always encourage saving, because what we just experienced with COVID, we had an opportunity to talk to people even with six-figure incomes who went from six-figure incomes to no money because of COVID, and a lot of them were not prepared financially for the disaster.
Thank you. Rebecca, I want to ask one more question real quick.
Sure.
I want to go to the trustee. Trustee, we hear a lot about predatory lending. Can you talk a little bit about that, especially in some of our neighborhoods where, and I don't want to jump on Angelique just yet. Angelique, I went to Knoxville College, and I'm in Soulsville, and we got a Truist branch here, and we don't have no sign. So we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But anyway, talk a little bit, Trustee, of what this predatory lending is, and some examples of it that happens every day to these working people.
Yes. Predatory lending, if you look at a classic definition, it says unfair, deceptive, or abusive business practices in lending, which take advantage of people. Given the chance, those who want to make money will take advantage of those who don't have it. And so predatory lending is kind of rampant in Shelby County. Tennessee was the original home of payday lenders, and we have more than our share. We have more than anybody in the country. And I include them in the predatory lending category, even though what they're doing is totally legal. So a lot of predatory lending is violating a law somewhere, and it's not legal. But the payday lenders are totally legal. But as you said, the folks that are usually preyed upon are the folks that can least afford it.
Right.
And so payday lenders and predatory lending are two of the things that our Consumer Financial Protection Initiative is looking at, whether it is new law, whether it is enforcing the law we have, whether it is trying to pass something through the legislature, or better yet, locally, to try to keep lenders from charging outrageous rates. I know my own state representative tried to pass something last year, but they don't call it interest at payday lenders, they call it fees.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
And essentially predatory lending is going to get you deeper in a hole and not out of it.
So if I cash my check, if I take I don't have a bank account, right? So I take my check to the corner liquor store and they charge me $12 to cash my $150 check. Is that predatory lending? Is that predatory? How about that?
If you're willing to pay it, why would they think it's predatory? But the fact is that folks need to get banked.
Right.
And that's what we call it.
Yeah.
We've got a whole list, and I'll be happy to supply that list for dissemination to everybody who's here, of bank accounts, banks involved in Bank on Memphis, a lot of whom are here and tonight, and they have free or low interest, safe, affordable checking accounts. And the fact is that folks unbanked can pay up to $40,000 over their lifetime in fees.
Right.
Just because they don't have a bank account.
Right.
And so if you can have, and the majority of people who don't have bank accounts say it's because they don't have enough money to have a bank account.
Right.
Or they had a problem in the past that's going to keep them from having a bank account. But the Bank on Memphis partners are trying to make those accounts available and make everybody have that opportunity to get banked. And we do have banking deserts in Shelby County. Obviously, we have food deserts, we have banking deserts.
Yep.
And places where there aren't banks.
Yep.
But if you can get a bank account that's available, and there are bank accounts online now, totally online. You don't have to go to the branch. But it behooves you not to pay those fees, not to pay the liquor store, not to pay the payday lender,
right.
And to, as Ms. Mister just said, to live within your means.
That's right. Cassandra, and I hope I can call y'all by y'all first name because I know all you guys. Cassandra, do I have to have good credit to come and open a bank account? I need a checking account. Do I have to have A1 credit to do that?
So Hope has accounts across the board that would support, I guess, anyone. If you've had some challenges in the past, if you are one of our accounts, even if you've had charge-offs with other financial institutions, you can still get a checking account. And it's just an opportunity to hit the reset button. A lot of people think that they can't. And, you know, generally for the mainstream financial institution, you can't. Hope is a community development financial institution, as I mentioned. And so part of the mission is to, you know, strengthen our communities, build assets, improve the lives of individuals. But when you have had that, you know, payday loan and you've been in a debt trap and you've had to close your account as a result of the debt trap, then a lot of times people don't think that they can, you know, hit that reset button. But Hope is a place that they can come and do that.
And Cassandra, I want to stay with you just a little bit too. For those who don't know, can you just tell us what really is the difference between a credit union and a traditional bank, and what might be the benefits of having an account with a credit union as opposed to a bank?
So your credit union membership is you're a member owner of the credit union. So a bank, a mainstream financial institution, you have to purchase stock to have ownership in that. But as a member of the credit union, just opening your savings account, your you know, $10 membership fee and having $15 in your savings account, that's your member ownership there. And it begins with that. People, you know, Hope is 77% Black owned. That means something. When you have an investment in yourself and in an organization that is embedded in the community and all of the resources that are available, they're available to you. So I think that's helpful to know that your credit union membership is ownership. Your account is ownership in that credit union.
Okay, thank you. And this next question, I want to direct it to Rodney Lomax. As people try to figure out how I can take out a loan, what kind of the requirements there are. They're looking at their credit score. And a lot of times they say, well, I'm not even going to apply because my credit score is low. The banks are not going to loan me anything. What is considered actually a good credit score? And what is the process that one can go through? Walk us through the steps of helping someone to rebuild their credit.
Okay. Well, a good credit score, there is a criteria, of course. What we do, firstly, I work with the RISE Foundation. The particular program I work with is called Save Up.
Okay.
With Save Up, our job is to educate Shelby County residents and best practices related to their money. All right. So as far as helping someone rebuild their credit, first we ask them to pull their credit, use one of the institutions, get their credit score, take an honest look at it. We actually have a program. We partner with Shelby County government with the Greater Memphis Financial Empowerment Center, where people are eligible to have a financial counselor who they can work with one-on-one to help them go through their credit score and help and actually set goals related to their credit.
Thank you. And I would like to go back to our trustee, because I know that there's a program that you have and have support that also helps. Could you talk a little bit about that and the process, the free program that folk can go through?
That's it. Yes, that's exactly what Rod was just referring to.
Yeah.
We partner with the RISE Foundation and some other entities in Shelby County government. It's a United Way Driving the Dream program, and it is grant funded and it is free to anybody in Shelby County. So essentially, as somebody mentioned earlier, a lot of this is data driven. When folks walk in the door and they have an appointment, and I tell everyone, this is not a workshop. It's not a seminar. It is help for as long as you need it. If you need to talk to your counselor once a week for 2 years, you get to talk to your counselor. It's like Weight Watchers. And so for your finances. And so we kind of take a snapshot of everybody's financial picture when they come in. So there's some metrics. How much savings do you have? Do you have any? How much debt do you have? What's your credit score, et cetera. And so over time, those things are worked on one-on-one, free financial counseling, confidential, to help you as long as you need it to improve those metrics. And so essentially what we've had, the center opened about 2 years ago, and we've had about 800 clients, and we just passed the milestone of them eliminating $1 million in non-mortgage debt. They've set aside $150,000 in savings. They've increased their credit score by 35 points or more, 158 of them, and 70 of them have opened checking accounts. So you have to measure your progress. And this is really true progress for the folks in this program. And if they go away for a year and they get in trouble again, they can come back and we can work with them again. But the whole point is, it's like Weight Watchers. Change your system on what you're doing and have that money for emergencies. We actually had more clients come in when COVID started because they talked to us before, but they didn't have time to sit down. And so then they had time when we went remote to talk to their counselor on video chat anytime they wanted. And so passing that goal of $1 million in non-mortgage debt being eliminated is just a really, really large goal. And we're so happy for them and happy to, we actually put out a press release on that last week because we're very happy to do that. And RISE is our nonprofit partner. It's sponsored by the Women's Foundation. It's a United Way program. And so please call and make an appointment.
You.
I just want to remind people, I'm just looking in the chat, man, and there is just some dynamic information about I mean, Shelby County leads the state, from what I see in the chat, in predatory lenders. And so just make sure you look in the chat and get a lot of this information. So as a community developer and someone who's been working, you know, in South Memphis and in Soulsville for the last 25 years, the number one call that I get from homeowners is around minor home repair.
Yeah.
The city used to have a program, Light, Gas, and Water would come out and do handicap ramps on people's houses. You know, MIFA used to do that. And this is really a question to all the bankers. You know, what programs do you have, either low interest loans or loans that are maybe could be included in a person's mortgage or something, but what do you have? And the number one issue is roofs. Every day, there's not a day that goes by that I don't get a call about some senior or just a normal resident who wants to get a roof put on their house. So I guess the question is around home renovation loans. What products do you have that can help homeowners, and especially now that, you know, that we're talking about, you know, TIFs in this particular neighborhood that we're in, and there's going to be a lot of renovation that's going to be starting pretty soon and new construction. So I would just ask each banker maybe if they could talk briefly about what kind of products they have for homeowners that could help them do renovation to their existing home. Anyone?
Yeah. Hi, Jeffrey. Kelvin Martin, First
Hey, Kelvin.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So when it comes to,
We can't now, Kevin.
can you hear me now?
You're a little low. Turn the volume up, man.
Okay, how about now?
There you go. There you go.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to roof repair, you got multiple options, but the first option that I would highly recommend.
Hey, Kevin, you going, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're going like in and out. So we get some high and then we get some low, just so you'll know.
Okay, how about now?
It's a little bit better. It's still pretty low.
Yes, that's a little better, but still pretty low.
Okay, I got my volume up as high as I can get it. It's
Okay,
on
go ahead.
It's on 97 right now.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah, that's good right there. That's good right there.
Okay, the first thing that I would recommend is I would recommend for you to contact your homeowner's insurance company. You can file a claim for roof repair if there's been some damage due to weather, or there's been some unforeseen damage that was beyond your control. You can file a claim with your homeowner's insurance company. I would recommend that. In addition to that, a lot of people don't know about this, but you can in some cases file for government assistance. There's a program called the Section 504 Home Repair. You would go to getgovernmentgrants.com. That's GOVT grants.com. And you can get some information there as it pertains to weatherization, their weatherization assistance program, where they may be able to provide some assistance for those that cannot afford to get their roof repaired. Ultimately, from a bank level, we have unsecured loans that they can apply for. We have what is called signature loans, where depending on where their debt ratio and their credit and where their profile is, they may be able to apply for unsecured signature loan to get that that roof repaired. Or they can refinance their home. If they want to change their term on their mortgage, change it maybe to a 15-year term, drop the interest rate, they can pull some cash out on a refinance to repair that roof or do additional home improvements. The last thing is going to be a home equity line of credit. That's basically a completely separate loan using the equity that you have in your home. And basically it's like a line of credit. Say for instance, the line is $50,000 and you need $10,000. You pull $10,000 off of that $50,000 line and you use those funds to repair your roof or do additional home improvements. So there's multiple different angles that you can take. But for those individuals that, you know, don't have good credit, I highly recommend for them to inquire with their insurance company to file a claim to get that roof repaired, or to check out getgovernmentgrants.com to see if there's some type of assistance through their weatherization assistance program or their Section 504 home repair program. So those are the things that I would recommend as it pertains to getting that roof repaired.
Thanks, Kevin.
And if I could just add to, just bring attention, one, Jeffrey,
Go ahead, Rebecca.
in the chat, United Housing also provides assistance as well, low interest loans. So we may want to also look at some non-traditional options other than banks, such as some of our nonprofit organizations.
Yeah, this is Cassandra. I was going to jump in and say that United Housing is part of the Memphis CDFI network, and they do provide that as a resource. So yes, I was just going to piggyback on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is Angela at Truist. Kelvin has already kind of gone through the banking side of what you can do from a lending perspective. We have 2 renovation loans that help with home repairs and home improvement. And another piece that we have a lot of people with as they grow older or more seasoned, as I say, that we need to updating our bathrooms and getting our, different things based on certain disabilities that may occur. Definitely from my home, we have stairs, and when I had surgery, I couldn't get up those stairs as much as I wanted to. So there are a lot of different things that homes need to get repaired for. But I was going to piggyback on what Cassandra said. Truist supports a lot of different not-for-profit organizations, and I would first start with local opportunities of weatherization with United Housing and some other organizations that can provide, and sometimes the city or the county may provide some of those types of opportunities as well for free to update your home and for renovations.
Any other bank?
Yeah.
Any other banker wanted to chime in?
Oh yeah, sorry.
The other thing that has really proliferated during the pandemic and before is this large, and Dr. Margway, you may want to chime in on this as well, is that a lot of people are going into business now. I saw a young lady the other day selling Italian water ice. This young man on HBO this month, this young man makes $3 million selling baseball trading cards. Right. And then a lot of people in the neighborhood, to make it sort of real, either underground economy or just folks that have trades and things and services and goods that they provide in the community. What resources would be available? Let's say for a young man up on McLemore here, there's a young man who shines shoes. What resources would be available at our local CDFIs, our credit unions, and our banks to help these entrepreneurs kind of get a foot up and get started in creating their business or expanding their businesses even. One thing that we know a little bit, Dr. Margway and I, we used to run a CDFI. There was this niche from about $1,000 to about $5,000 that people needed. And a lot of the banks, larger banks, would not lend that kind of money. And that may have changed recently. I know Cassandra and them do some of that. But what advice would you give our audience around small business development, accessing capital, and that kind of thing? And I'll open that to any banker that wants to respond.
Well, I'd love to jump in there. I think Hope has, we were started to help small businesses access capital in the Delta, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and of course moving into Tennessee. So the foundation of business ownership and using it as an economic mobility tool. You're saying it, like people are doing this, out of the trunks of their cars in their homes, and to have a small dollar loan and have access to that, you know, $1,000. We have a loan program called Borrow and Save that we just recently started to partner with the Black Clergy Collaborative of Memphis to combat predatory lending so that they don't have to go get that, you know, injection of capital in a predatory place. So Hope does have a program. We not only can people borrow against their own money, but just that particular program, Borrow and Save, where in $1,000 you would not get the full 1,000. You 500 comes to you, 500 goes into a savings account, and you're going to pay on that. It might be a situation where you're rebuilding your credit, but that is available. It's a decision in the branches, so that you don't have to go through any type of committee. And it's about relationship. A lot of people in our communities don't feel like they can, you know, go into a mainstream financial institution. But when you have your membership and it's your relationship, that makes a huge difference.
Thanks, Hassan. Hey, Rodney, is RISE doing anything around, you know, around this issue of small business development?
Mr. Hayes, can I chime in, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Dr. Margaret.
I think that our small business people, some of them have not developed a good relationship with the banks. They need to have a personal banker, and they need to organize their financials, whether they are making money or not, because, you know, the bank is going to ask you for all those papers for 2 years. They want to see progress. And we don't see that. That's why a lot of people lost out on the PPP loan, because some of them have not even updated their business information with the Secretary of State. So we need to do a little more to educate them. I know we've done that a whole lot, but we need to do some more. Have a separate bank account for your business. Make sure that you lodge your money into your business. If you need help, most banks will be willing to help you if they see the potential. So that's where we really have to come in and help them.
Well, like Jeffrey was saying, there are a lot of small businesses, home-based businesses, and folk just doing things, making things in their home. Then they may want to take their small home-based business to the next level. But they need an extra push. They need more education. What programs are out there to help educate the small business entrepreneur that wants to take their business to the next level? And also, what about that business plan that we're always talking about? At what point do you start developing that business plan even before you start asking for that loan? And what goes into the business plan?
I'm going to put something in the chat. We have the Memphis CDFI network. We're going to drive people to our website, and their Communities Unlimited does business counseling as a part of our network. And it is, you know, intensive counseling where they'll, you know, walk with the business and get them to where they need to be. But I'm going to share that in the chat, and people can, if they need that business coaching or counseling, they can sign up there at that website.
Right. Yeah, and Angelica Mister says Operation Hope. She put something in the chat. Yeah. Operation Hope has a program. Angelica, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I will. Operation Hope has a small business program with all of our services is offered for free. We offer a small business program where the business owners are given an opportunity to work on their credit while they're working on their businesses, learning the basic nuances of businesses. Several other businesses business owners come in to mentor those business owners or potential entrepreneurs. They offer the program now is 6 weeks. It used to be longer, but it's now 6 weeks program that is offered. And in the development of their program, while they're in the program, they're developing their business plan. And they're also working on their credit while they're in the program, because as I said before, that is initially how Operation Hope got its start. We got started based upon this fact that small business owners potentially do not have the credit worthiness to warrant them the ability to go to the bank to access those funding dollars to for their businesses. So with this being said, Operation Hope does have a small business program. We have 2 business coaches here in the city of Memphis. And anyone that's interested in those coaches can reach out to me. I'll put my email address in the chat, and I'll give you those coaches information, and you can access one of their business classes. And then, of course, you know, because we do work with other funding partners, such as our banks, because we work with you on getting your credit score up, you'll also be credit worthy to go to those institutions and potentially receive funding for your business.
And this is Angela at Truist, and that's what I was going to talk about, Angelique, that we have an Operation Hope counselor that focuses on our small business entrepreneurship. But in addition to that, you've got the MBC continuum that's there, and you've got Epicenter, and these are organizations that we actually work with, the financial institutions work with locally. And then in addition, it's a new one coming to town that's going to be able to provide some capital. Truist has provided $1.5 million to Grameen America, and one of our first centers that we're going to be able to have is going to actually be centered in Memphis. So Grameen America is coming to Memphis specifically to support our small business owners, but specifically for Black women entrepreneurship. And so there's going to be opportunities for training, technology, technical assistance, as well as possibly some capital. And then you've got River City that actually supports capital for small business. So there's a lot of, I think Memphis has a wonderful eclectic group of organizations that can support all of those areas across the Memphis area.
Yeah, I mean, we do the new women's business center as well.
All right, let's give ourselves a hand. Woo!
Is that Cassandra over there cheerleading?
Who recognizes?
It is not, but
Who is that, Regina? Who is that over there cheerleading?
I want to ask one more question. I think, Rodney, this might come to you as we talk about small businesses too. I remember a couple of years ago in front of Stax Museum, we had an open air market, and we had about 2 or 3 kidpreneurs there. Wonderful, wonderful young people making jewelry, developing paintings, artwork, selling their products. Are there any programs that are directed towards young people, not only in terms of those who have that entrepreneur spirit, but just in financial literacy in general for young people? It's great if we can start them young, understanding financial management.
I agree. Of course, the RISE Foundation focus is to, help people generationally with financial literacy. We see the impact that, we can have as far as adults and children. As far as youth, we have a program called Gold Card that's in several schools within the Shelby County network of schools, where it somewhat mimics Save Up, where the incentives, instead of the $3,000 you can earn towards an asset, the youth are incentivized as far as what they get on their report card: grades, attendance, conduct, and they accrue points, and they can actually purchase items using those points, or they can bank those points and buy larger items as the 9 weeks go on. So yeah, there are programs. One such program is one that RISE has called Gold Card.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I think, do we need to begin wrapping up? 6:49, or we're close to. I have one more question, and this is a Rebecca question. Jeffrey, just let me ask this question.
Rebecca, aren't you a preacher's wife? You're a first lady.
You know
right?
what?
That's why it's always one more question.
My husband the preacher. I ain't the preacher. So I ain't.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
The question is, go back to financing renovations. My home and a lot of those homes in South Memphis are in historic districts. South Memphis is one of the oldest sections of Memphis, and our homes are many of them, like mine, are on the National Historic Registry. So, and when that happens, that triggers a whole new set of issues. And there's certain things that you can and cannot do to a home because it is on the register, the history register. But are there any loan products that are targeting historical homes and historic districts? Anybody?
Rebecca, I do know that there's some historic tax credits that you can get now, specifically for, and I know y'all street is on the historic register as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The street and the house. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of any.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think we've had something that there may be some lending products available, but I just don't have the comfortability to talk about them. But you're right, there are tax credits and some other things that are out there. But there's an opportunity just to ask that question of those financial institutions to be able to see if there's opportunity.
Yep.
Thank you, Ms. Connor. I appreciate that. All right.
Well, I want to thank all of our panelists for joining us tonight. I don't know if you guys knew, but I stayed here at the office and I'm at the historic Walker House. And when we got started, I couldn't even see outside. It was storming.
Yeah,
I mean, something furious like. So, but I really want to thank all of our panelists, all of our participants, everybody that's virtual. We really, really wanted to do this, you know, a hybrid virtual and in person. Folks in South Memphis and Soulsville like information, and we like to get together. And so while we're a little disappointed that we weren't able to come together, this has been just fabulous. I want to thank Micah. I want to thank my cohort there, Rebecca, Matlock Hutchinson. Think too much we don't, when it comes to this community development, that we don't do together. And thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And we hope that we gave you some information to improve your financial life. While we're building up our communities, we also need to improve our financial wherewithal. And I think the experts that we had tonight brought some very timely and valuable information. I got to take one more dig at my good friend from Knoxville about this sign out on Walker Avenue. And having said that, I will turn it back over to my good friend, Michael Peeler. And thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
All right. Jeffrey, Rebecca, panelists, and attendees, thank you for taking an hour and a half of your busy day to have this important conversation. I want to give a special shout out to panelist Dr. Austin Amagwe, who had a number of his Lemoyne-Owen students register for the event. That's going to help equip our next generation of leaders. So thank you for that, Dr. Amagwe. I also want to give a special thank you to Paige Plucker with Micah, who provided the technical support to make this event happen. Thank you, Paige, so much. In summary, we are hopeful that through this summit, stakeholders have made the connections to the resources they can use to take control of their financial futures, whether it's home ownership, home improvement, starting a business, or improving their credit score. Remember that the contact information for each of the panelists and partner organizations will be listed on the MICA website. Additionally, we'll be sending each of the registrants in the next 2 weeks a full transcript of all the questions and answers covered in the conversation today. Thank you again for your participation. Now, as promised, the drawing for the 3 $50 gift cards, the 3 winners are, we'll coordinate delivery and getting these to you. The 3 winners are Teresa King, Guadalupe Reyes, and Maya Hill. We've got your information from the registration. And like I said, we will coordinate getting those gift cards to you. Thank you, group. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening and ask you to be safe.
Mr. Piller?